Alright, I am back for the new year 2021 to continue with the games and the videos. So the next agenda that we're going to be trying out this week from the, how do you say, the last pack that was released, whatever, the Knights agenda, Knights of the Realm. This is a simple agenda. While you have more knights than the other person, you draw one extra. If you have less knights, you draw one less. It's fine. It's plenty solid. Drawing 3 cards is nice. It's not too hard to activate and build around. As I've mentioned before, if I ever come back to this agenda, I think this will be one of the only agendas that I actually have to skip factions for and not make decks for them. The 2 factions that I'll skip will be at least Targaryen and Greyjoy. Greyjoy has 1 knight character in the entire faction. Targaryen has 2. There are 2 different versions of Ser Jorah Mormont, but you can still only have 3 cards titled Ser Jorah Mormont in your deck, so they basically have 2. And then Night's Watch is an edge case, because Night's Watch actually has 4 knights, and they're like all rangers, so in theory, could you maybe possibly do like a Night's Watch, Knights of the Realm Ranger deck? I don't think that it would be, particularly good, but I'm not sure. Maybe I would do it. We'll see. Anyways, the 3 factions that I selected for these little test runs is obviously Baratheon, Lannister, and Tyrell. Tyrell is obvious. Tyrell has like twice as many more knights than anyone else. And then after them, Baratheon and Lannister have the highest amount. So I made a Baratheon deck, and the thing that I noticed about the first version of the Baratheon Knights deck that I made was everything is basically non-loyal. There was like no loyal characters in the deck, really. I had to lose 2 characters to get a deck with no non-loyal cards in it. Or I mean with no loyal characters in it. And that was Bonifer the Good and Alester Florent, who are both knights, and it's sad to have to drop Bonifer because he's a new card, so even though he was just going to be a 1 copy anyways, I want to use new cards, but he's loyal. They're not, worth giving up all of the non-loyal tech that's in the deck now. It's fine to cut those 2 in order to have like Ghost of High Heart and stuff. And another thing is that I was like, oh, knights, that means I'm going to have hedge knights, and I can put in unlikely champions, and those go with Renly, right? I guess they both cost 6, the good version of Renly. And then you can put in the non-loyal cards like the Ghost of High Heart and Anguy the Archer and Lim Lemoncloak to give him more targets. And he rounds that out pretty nicely. You get the Hollow Hill, whatever. The main thing missing is you don't have Robert Baratheon. I think that's the biggest loss. Probably any version of Robert, but especially the core version or the 6-cost version would be good for this deck. And I'm sure you can do a version of the deck with him in it and take out like Ghost of High Heart and the non-loyal stuff, and then maybe like go down to 1 Barrack and 1 copy of Sir Barristan, and then find some other big card to have 1 copy of. This version we have 3 copies of Sir Barristan and Beric Dondarrion. I don't necessarily even like having multiples of these big cards, but the reason is because they have renown. And it's like you don't have enough power gain if you don't have some more renown cards in the deck. Just Renly by himself it's not really enough, I don't think. You have the problem of, well, you have a lot of efficient characters and cards, and you can make a board and put milk on their characters and stuff, but it becomes difficult to actually gain enough power to win the game. Because it's a Baratheon Knights deck. It's not a board clear deck. You're not going to be able to clear their board or have any sort of alternate win conditions like that. And possibly there should be more copies of Justin Massey and the Bastard of Night Song for the same reason, because they can gain power, obviously. So you could cut like Davos or Courtney or whatever to get more copies of them if you want. So yeah, there's a bunch of knights, and there's Renly, and there's the other cards I discussed, and that's pretty much the deck. I put in 5 attachments and 5 events to help with exchange of information. Although honestly, counting coppers might be better for this deck. Counting coppers is definitely fine. But you could probably cut, privileged position, not really necessary, I don't think. Shadow of the Throne is kind of a card I just want to try and see if it's good. Milks are never wrong. But yeah, I think like cut 3 privilege position and put in 3 Maester Crescents. Now that I'm looking at this, I have 3 barracks, so that's almost certainly what I should do. Maybe the second game I'll cut these and I'll have 3 Maester Crescents and counting coppers. And then we've got the locations, which are, you know, all Red Keep, Hollow Hill, yeah. So we've got Dohaeris, which I think, even though there are some big characters in the deck, can still be good. You can Dohaeris and keep Renly in play and get your board back pretty easily a lot of times. The King in the North I'm not so sure about. I kind of look through, and there's not a ton of super important triggers that get disabled by that, I don't think. I think the worst thing, actually, is that your draw locations get shut off by the King in the North. There's no Hollow Hill or Red Keep. But Renly is still enabled. Barristan and Barrack's abilities, I guess it's kind of... I guess the nightmare is that you flip this on a Valar Morghulis turn and it blocks Barrack's ability and he actually dies. That would be pretty terrible. But yeah, other than that, like, it's not a bunch of super important active abilities, I don't think. So I think it's worth trying. But you could definitely switch this out with whatever other type of plot you prefer if you want to have, like, Barring the Gates or whatever. Loan from the Iron Bank to have some money after the first turn. Close Call because we have multiples of big characters without, like, bodyguards or Spears of the Merlin King. And at the gates. And Tourney for the King to try and win the game by getting renown on all our knights. This, unfortunately, is not super reliable, but in theory, you have 3 or more knights in play, and you flip this, and you can get a bunch of power and either win the game or get close enough to winning that you can close it out from there. The last thing to say is I've got this new card, Godry the Giant Slayer. I think he's not really good or worth it outside of... how do you say... Man, I am really losing my brain today. The Bestow decks, that's right. If you're not playing like Free Companies or something, I don't think he's really worth it. But I want to try him, though, because he is a knight, and he has like the knight theme ability, right? The reason I say I don't think he's worth it is, let's say you play him and bestow him for 1, so you paid 3 to get a 1-strength character, but presumably you'll get his at least 1 trigger of his reaction right away. So still, he's a 3 for 2, which is not great. And let's say you keep him in play until next turn, you trigger his ability again. He becomes a 3 for 3 with pretty much no other text or ability besides that he's a 3-strength knight. Like, alright, it's a little better at that point, you know, then he has average stats. And he only becomes efficient after he's able to stay in play and trigger his reaction at least 3 times, is when he starts to actually have more strength than the amount of gold that he cost you to play. And his reaction, again, it's limit once per phase, so... It's like you want to look for ways to trigger it in other phases besides the marshalling phase, but there's very few ways to do that as far as I'm aware. I don't think that like bringing a Shadow Priestess out of Shadows counts for this reaction. That doesn't matter because this is not a R'hllor deck anyways. Maybe in a R'hllor deck he's better because Scene in Flames is like one of the only ways to actually get his reaction twice in one phase. I mean in one turn. But again, not a R'hllor deck, don't have Scene in Flames. A combo that I can think of is if you have like a Lannister Baratheon Knights deck where it's like those 2 factions together. I think if you ambush Sir Pounce is a knight card, and that actually counts as playing a knight card when you ambush him. So that would trigger Godry's reaction. That's really funny just for the meme, but again, that's why I say I don't think he's actually, because he's a 2 or 3 cost character, like, he's probably not going to stay in play for 3 turns or longer, and even if he does, it's like, okay, well, maybe you get a decent character after those 3 or 4 turns, but in exchange, you had a subpar character earlier. Like, you could have just played another, I don't know, some other knight that's more efficient than that, but we'll see. Ooh, this game has been up for 9 minutes. All right, this looks like he's not here. Alright, I got someone to join the game. Oh, it's a Baratheon face-off. So he's Prince that was promised. Oh, I've seen this deck. So Davos Seaworth Prince that was promised. It's the 5 cost Davos, the 7 Davos, and what he does is he puts like noble lineage on him and the king attachment. So I think it's called King at the Wall. So then like every time he wins, he discards off your faction power and he gains power on himself. I guess I should start with more knights in play. Yeah, he's got it duplicated. That's funny. Yeah, King at the Wall. Well, I got the hunting accident, but he's Baratheon, so risking it all. Oh yeah, because I could march. Nah, I'm Baratheon. I don't have march. He can have Mr. Crescent to stop the hunting accident, of course. I think I get this card. Ah, that's trash. I don't have a noble cause in this deck, so maybe I just play him right away. I think I might actually hold this hunting accident in milk and see what he does first. Do I want to play Angai or the Hollow Hill? So the Hollow Hill is good to have, right? Let's do this before Renly gets milked. Just trying to think. I guess I want Ghost of High Heart. Who am I kidding? There. Oh yeah, this gives him Renown too. Black Betha. Now he has Renown. Doesn't have the power icon. He nailed the Ghost of High Heart, really? I'm not sure if that's worth it. He must have something in his hand that he really, really doesn't want her to get that he also can't play this turn. I'm not sure what that would be. There would be a decent argument for me just passing challenges here, I think. But that's no fun, so let's turn our cards sideways. I guess, yeah, he has Stealth and Black Betha, though, so it's good to not pass challenges with that being the case. Do this. So if we try to use Renly to defend, he can get stealthed. So this way he gets the Renown. I might as well leave this guy standing just for dominance, even though he's not going to be able to defend anything. It's fine. Probably one of the better discards. There we go. Get that begging brother. King in the North actually disables a lot of stuff. It doesn't disable him, but it stops everything else. Could be worth it. I mean, the other card is Loan from the Iron Bank. I don't really want to do that. Valor Dohaeris, definitely not worth it. So let's just do this. So there is Maester Crescent. Just have to hope he doesn't draw it. Yeah, see, Alessandro doesn't get to kneel stuff. So he got that Solace and used it to play the Azor. Oh man, that's a problem. Because now even if I put Hunting Accident on him, he still goes into every challenge where these Relore cards are attacking. That's pretty bad. I guess I have to milk him. That's one way to stop that. Then I can just play a bunch of Hunting Accidents. Yeah, that stops these guys from attacking so much. Seen in Flames, of course. Oh, I messed that up. Oh yeah, you can't use Black Beth. All right. That's a really good entry claim. Red Priest. Oh, he doesn't defend it. Okay. Too bad I can't use those King's Gates. So he's going to do Valar Dohaeris. I have to think, what am I going to play? Because I don't have any cards, which is not great. I can do this and just try to get like more attachments, I guess. I didn't get any attachments. It's garbage. Basically, if I don't keep milk on this Davos, I will lose really fast. Because he got the Wombo combo with the 2 attachments there. See, that's why it was good to put that card in play in draw phase. Oh, he got the power icon. Oh, man. And the Intimidate, he drew literally everything. That's not good. At least I can cancel the Laughing Lord, I guess. Nope, I cannot win that. There we go. There's a milk. I'm just sacrificing those because I'm probably going to do Loam from the Iron Bank next turn. I have 4 spare gold this turn after playing Exchange, so I have too much money apparently. Can he not put this on Davos? I guess he has to declare Davos as an attacker normally to use that on Davos. Anyways, strength 8. He has to defend that. Oh, Black Betha. Oh well. It doesn't really matter at all. Yeah, I probably lose this game, I think. Oh, I guess I get this. I think I got slowed down too much. And even with milk on him, the Azora High is too powerful. There's just nothing you can do about it. Yeah, I don't think there's even, like, turning for the king, I have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 knights. 5 plus Renly, that's 6 renown. Probably still not going to be enough. It's only at 12 power to do that. So let's do loan. There's the Maester Crescent, but we have another milk. Hopefully he does not have another red priest. I guess taking a power off is more important. Well, we sure did get a wide board. He already used his Dohaeris. If he has Morghulis, we lose. Oh, that's lame. Yeah, we cancel those. If he doesn't have Morghulis, maybe I have a chance now. I might be able to do tourney for the king next turn. So I'll just have so many knights at that point. Alright, this turn worked out a little bit better. Oh no, he gave up! What happened? Alright, we won. Wow, I didn't think I was going to win that. It's the power of the extremely wide board with Ghost of High Heart. See, this is a really good indicator showing where the non-loyal tech was worth it to get this card into play. I never used her ability. I mean, her ability's nice. It's not the best thing in the world. It's not overpowered, but the really good thing about this card is the +1 strength boost. I look, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. +8 total strength, which makes it like impossible for him to get past all this on challenges. So that was really effective. Alright, well, that worked out better than I expected. I guess I'll take it. So he did not have Morghulis, I guess, which makes sense. Because if he had Morghulis, then he could just do that, and I'd be like, oh, that's lame. But if he doesn't have Morghulis, then next turn I would do a tourney for the king, and then I actually would have too much. Because at that point it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 renowns. I would have definitely won at that point. Alright, got him.